It's my pleasure to be able to present to you an update on what's happening right now with World Cryptocurrency Exchange and World Cryptocurrency International right across the world, but particularly here in Australia. I'd like to, if this is your first time to the webinar, welcome you, and hopefully you'll get some relevant information. I will actually walk through some things which I normally do because there are some recaps I like to do, really, in case there's anyone new on the call, and it's really just reiterating a little bit about the company and how we got to be where we are. So my name's Brian Downs. I have the privilege of being the global ambassador for World Cryptocurrency International, and I live in Tasmania and have been here since 1990, and I'm very fortunate to have some wonderful friends right around Australia and now increasingly right around the world because of this company. My background is in actually exercise physiology and sports science and those sorts of things, if you like, and sports management, which is part of the reason I came to Tasmania initially. But I've always been interested in developing entrepreneurial activity, and certainly over the last 15 years have been involved in the network marketing industry more generally, but over the last 2-3 years specifically in the area of cryptocurrency, because I suppose, ladies and gentlemen, I'm actually an entrepreneur that really wants to get a grasp of the new trends and to help people make changes to their life, which is really what it's all about. And effectively, that's really what an entrepreneur does. They solve problems, and I really believe that we've got something on our hands that will help people do that. So without further ado, just a bit of a recap. World Cryptocurrency Exchange Incorporated is the holding company, if you like. It's based in America, but the marketing arm is World Cryptocurrency International. So World Cryptocurrency Exchange is the holding company, World Cryptocurrency the marketing arm, and it commenced business in May of last year. It was actually incorporated in February of last year, but it never really got underway until about the May. And in fact, amazingly, and once you learn the story, you'll sort of find it quite amazing. In that 8 months or so, turned over 180 million US dollars, because the first few months they didn't turn much over at all. And certainly the goal for the company is to be a US $1 billion company by the end of 2020. And there's a number of things that they've got on the way, and we'll be learning more about over the next few months that will really demonstrate how they're going to do that, because the company is much more now than just a cryptocurrency company. And our president and CEO, Mr. John Rock, is actively involved in helping to broaden the revenue base for the company. So we're now operating in over 45 countries. I can't say exactly all of that. I can give you a full list. That's the Mr. Joseph Nyung, who's our global leader. Effectively, everybody in the business is in his team. He's advised that he's got a business now in 45 countries, and this is growing very, very quickly. We've got 44,000, in fact, probably more than that, 44,000 associates in WCI right now. And I have the privilege of being in Uganda just over a week ago, where we launched Africa. And I can tell you that about $250,000 worth of volume was done in 5 or 6 days. So lots of exciting ideas, and it all goes well for the future as we move towards the rest of this year. So we've also got so you've got WCX, the major, the holding company, if you like. You've got WCI, which we're going to talk more about tonight, which is the marketing arm, which is what we're linked into. And then we also have a trading platform called WCX Trading Platform, World Cryptocurrency Exchange. The website's there on your screen, WCX.io, and it is being integrated at the moment. Whilst you can go on there, and you can actually trade, it actually is still not quite readily for public consumption, in the sense of it being available for every person. I mean, if you're a trader, you'll know what to do, but it's all going to be linked and integrated into our own back office, which is occurring right at the moment. We also have our own WCX coin, which is, in fact, if anyone knows anything about cryptocurrency, cryptocurrency is digital money, and when cryptocurrency is developed, if you like, and then mined, there's always a finite number. And with our coin, WCX coin, there'll be no more than 31 million coins. At the moment, there's about 11,400,000 that have been mined. So our coin is a community coin. And so people ask, why is it not on certain exchanges and whatever else? It's not on because the company's chosen not to put it on. It doesn't have to. We didn't have to do an ICO because we didn't need to raise funds. The coin is actually all about, it's going to be used in our ecosystem for the community. The community is now, as I say, 4,000 people. So once the ecosystem, which is effectively a marketplace and a merchants program, is completed, it means that the coin will be readily accepted and also can be quite easily used to redeem for cash and all sorts of things. You'll be able to load it into your MasterCard, which we'll have, and so load it into your back office and turn it into cash, whatever you want to do. So lots and lots of things happening. So again, just as a general comment for people that are involved in cryptocurrency, it's all well and good having a cryptocurrency that might be listed here and there and whatever else. But if it's what we call, if it's got a transactionable value, that is, there's no real purpose behind it, then often it'll get hyped up. But ultimately, it's all about the value of the transaction. And that's what we're doing. We're building a community which will be able to use the coin daily from all sorts of things, from downloading movies, streaming movies as well as music, into travel. You'll be able to use it, as I say, to redeem cash out of an ATM, all sorts of things. So it'll have some real value. And that will actually increase the value of our coin. And so very soon, the trading platform will link into our back office, WCI back office, and also then you'll be able to link the coins in and have a very, very worthwhile all-round product that actually delivers benefits to you daily. So, as I've already mentioned, transactional value of the coin, this is so important, and that's what we're actually developing, and that's what we're going to see, in fact, at our conference, which is actually going to be in a couple of months' time, and I'm going to speak a little bit about that in a few moments. There'll be more information passed about that. So, what does all this mean? Essentially means that WCI, WCX, as I said before, is much more than just a cryptocurrency company. We are, in fact, a multi-function money services platform. And it means that we are involved in fiat money. Fiat is government-backed legal tender. That's like Australian dollars, US dollars, euro, whatever you like. And we're going to be able to use our cryptocurrency interchangeable with fiat money. And this is what's being created and developed at the moment. So the company is currently registered as in fact, the main company is incorporated in Philadelphia and Singapore, and there is more movement there, and I suspect there'll be more announcements about developments there at the conference. We do have an office in Singapore as well. It's where our Asian office is, headed up by Mr. Simon Lim, who's our Chief Operations Officer for WCX Asia. And in fact, so we've got a Singapore office, which is where we're really running the majority of Asia out of, and we've also got our company registered there as well as in Philadelphia. Now, this is where it starts to get exciting, because this is, I keep saying, and you've got to see the bigger picture here, ladies and gentlemen, because this is much more than just about cryptocurrency. In fact, when people come along to me and say, what are you doing? Whereas probably 12 months or so, I said, look, we're involved in cryptocurrency, and that probably excited everybody. And whilst I can say it now, it really is a limiting comment to say, because we're involved in much more. We are a multifunction money service platform. That is, we provide digital payment solutions. And in March of this year, WCX/WCI bought a majority holding in a company called Blockration. Now, Blockration is a digital solutions company that's been going for about 20 years, or parts of it have at least. They're based in Canada, and they have their IT out of Bangalore in India. And currently they have, with all of their digital products online, about 125 million different users. They already have relationships in place, particularly with MasterCard and a whole host of other regular financial services platforms, if you like. So what's happening, we've bought the majority shareholding, which means now are incorporating, and they're working on this right at the moment, where we're incorporating normal, if you like, or digital services in with the blockchain. Now, the blockchain, if you're new to this, the blockchain is the key. The blockchain is the technology that sits behind the cryptocurrency, for instance, and the first blockchain was really created when Bitcoin was created. But of course, the blockchain is a public ledger, which means that you can move anything of value from one person to another. And when we talk digital currency, we're talking money. So what it means is that with the, and I'm going to give you a website in a few moments, which you can actually log on to, because the actual document that the company put out as part of a press release in April is 17 pages, and it is only just the tip of the iceberg with regards to where this is going. So you've got to understand that we are involved in more than cryptocurrency, that we are involved in a company that allows for interchangeability between cryptocurrency and fiat money, and able to turn that into things, if you like, or transactions that are meaningful to you. And of course, when you do that, it adds value to our company, and particularly the WCX coin, which will be included in that. So we are, as I say, a digital multifunction money services platform, but we're essentially, what we're involved in is mobile money and digital fiat financial services, all on the blockchain. That's where we're heading. And, you know, again, when you have a look at this 17-page document, which is, if you take down this website here, if you haven't yet seen it, we don't email it out because it's such a large file. Our good friend and colleague, Mr. Mike Chipchase, this is his website. So it's freelife2.com/WCI/WCI.PDF. If you type that into your browser, a 17-page document that will come up, which is WCI and Blockration. And once if you don't quite understand it all, it will give you a really good sense of what's going on and where we're heading. So, as I mentioned, what the situation is that we're actually linked into MasterCard. In fact, that's all through Blockration. And in fact, right at the minute, Blockration has these cards that are operating under a cashier label in India. And I've seen them. In fact, I've actually seen them in use when I've been in India more recently. Now, what actually, you'll be able to have a virtual card and a physical card. So, and people keep asking, when are the cards coming? It's actually a little bit more, it's not a simple process in getting it done. But certainly the integration between Blockration and WCI is proceeding. But for us to have a card, there has to be a license provided, and it has to be linked to a bank, believe it or not, in the respective country. So I know at the moment, as far as Australia is concerned, for example, that there are discussions going on where, and a bank here in Australia, where they essentially will, I don't know what the term is, host the card, if you like. But it means then once you've got the card, and it's with MasterCard, so MasterCard does all the processing, you will have a virtual card. So it's a virtual card on your phone, and you can go and wave it in front of a you know, when you go shopping and something, and it'll zip and zap. Or you can actually, for $10, I think it is $10 one-off fee, you'll be able to order your own card, and it's labelled with our own logo. And here it is here, the great photograph I took earlier today, which hopefully you enjoy. Anyway, you can see that there's WCI logo, there's the MasterCard logo. This is a sample card because my name's not card holder, and my last name's certainly not name. So you realise that's only a sample card, but these are actually operating. In India, they're under the Cashier logo there, not WCI card at the moment, but we now own them. And in fact, company in India has recently sponsored the Kings PJ cricket team, the Indian Cricket Premier League team, which is a Punjab team in the north of the country. And that I can honestly, I was there actually in India when the final for the Indian Premier League was on. And I don't know if you've ever been in India when cricket's on, but everywhere you walk, in whatever room it is, the cricket's on. So, and these ads were running. And so that sponsorship starts next year. So we, as in WCI, actually own 51%, I think it is, or thereabouts, of this company, which actually is providing these services. Now, this card here will have our own WCI logo, and once this is all fully rolled out, we will be able to attract merchants, and merchants is obviously anyone that's online or offline that would like to use our card. And why? Because they're going to get benefits. But this is the big thing, ladies and gentlemen. Whilst we've got 44,000 WCI members and growing daily, what we don't have is a whole lot of non-members. Now, what does that mean? Well, we do have a whole lot of non-members because they're not members. What that means is that people who don't even know anything about WCI, haven't got a clue what it is, will be able to use and just walk and be given one of our WCI cards and go and use it. They won't even know what WCI is, but they'll use it because they're getting loyalty points, and they'll be able to redeem it for cash and do all sorts of things like that. Just like a whole lot of frequent flyer shopping cards now. And each time that's occurring, the company and the merchant and potentially the affiliate, i.e. someone like you and I, will be earning a commission. Now, as I said, right at the moment, there's 125 million people using the block ration services. There's 50 million people already with a Cashier card across parts of Asia, most of them in India. And you've just got to see where this is going, because ultimately this actually contributes to the profitability of WCX WCI. And that has an impact on our daily rewards, which again, if you're new to this call, and this is really a members only call, you need to talk to your sponsor if you don't quite understand this. But basically what happens is a general rule. As the company earns a profit, as in the World Cryptocurrency Exchange earns a profit from the trading and mining of cryptocurrencies, it earns a profit from the trading of foreign exchange, and it has other investments. And that profit, in fact, 50% of that is given back to people like you and I, in members, that is, WCI members, by way of our daily rewards. Now, the daily rewards is a passive payment that we receive in Bitcoin referenced at US dollars, and the amount depends upon the pack. Again, if you're not sure what that is, speak to your sponsor, and I know there's some great people on this call that can answer that if you don't really know what that is. But anyway, what it means is, as the company actually increases its revenue base and therefore ultimately increases its profitability, it means that ultimately our daily rewards will go up. So this is very exciting. And then when you throw that in with an ecosystem that is a merchant program that is got literally thousands of merchants involved, where our own WCX coin is preferred, that will add value to our coin, as you can imagine. That's all exciting. Now, the availability of the card, I know the company's working on it very, very hard at the moment. The priority, quite frankly, ladies and gentlemen, has been to get the card to some of the countries where they've had issues with regards to cryptocurrency, and it really is also a matter of regulatory agreements occurring. So company is well down that track in many fronts, and we'll probably get an update on that over the next couple of months. But certainly at the conference, I know the company will be hoping that a lot of that is bedded down. But as you can imagine, this is considerable. With block creation, we have a whole lot of money services and financial services licenses that come with it. Again, what slows the process down is compliance, and it's very important that the company gets that right. In fact, our chairman, our president and CEO, Mr. John Rock, is known as Mr. Integrity, and his background is in compliance, and he, I know, is working hard to ensure with block creation that when we finally do have the finished product, that there are no issues. So what it will mean is, ladies and gentlemen, let's say we've got the card here in Australia and it's registered with whatever bank. The bank is only to allow the license to be granted. That's my understanding. So what it means, though, if wherever you go anywhere in the world with this card, you'll be able to load your daily rewards or commissions, which is in Bitcoin, in your back office directly onto this card, and go to any ATM wherever you are in the world where they accept MasterCard and pull it out as the currency in that particular country. Not only that, you'll be able to go shopping and do all the sort of things you want to do. So this is amazing. Now, the other side of it is you'll also be able to load cash onto this card. If you don't have a bank account, that's fine. You'll be able to load it straight from the bank from an agent like Western Union. They loaded the cash on. So you may not even wish to have a bank account. And in fact, that's what I find exciting. 60% of the people on our planet do not have and will never have access to a bank account. And in fact, as I mentioned, I was in Africa just over a week ago. In Africa, it's 80%. 80% of people do not have access to a bank account. So can you imagine what this card, virtual and physical card, is going to do for those people? So this is huge. You've got to look at this as a massive undertaking, and we are pioneers of a pioneering company in a pioneering industry, and it's happening right now with us. So there's a real opportunity to see the bigger picture. We've got to work through some of the challenges that the company's got to face, and that's going on right now, but it's very exciting times as we move forward. Okay, talking about exciting times. Right, on the 17th through to the 20th, in fact, the actual conference is 18th to the 19th of September, WCI is holding our annual conference, and this was postponed from March. And the reason it was postponed, ladies and gentlemen, it was in Las Vegas, but many people, particularly from some of our Asian friends, couldn't get visas in time with the new laws in the United States. So this conference is, in fact, on the 17th through to the 20th of September in Bali. It's at the Inyaya Putra Bali Resort. Now, you probably can't read all that, but I've got the next slide to give you a bit more information. You probably can't read that either. I didn't realise it looked so small. But anyway, if you get your get your glasses out or your whatever you need to do to see, let me read it out to you. Because if you feel that there's something with this company where you believe that it's quite possible that you can change your life, and more importantly, or just as importantly, the lives of others, you really do need to consider getting yourself there, because this is going to be amazing. It really will be the first major conference. There wasn't an event in September in Singapore. That was more of a recognition event. This is actually our first national or international conference. So arrival is in Bali on Monday the 17th. So the actual conference will start on Tuesday the 18th and 19th of September. And each day, it's full days of presentations, including major announcements. Now, I'm not privy. I've got a sense of what some are, but I'm not privy to much more than that. But what I do, and what I can say, is that there is going to be some major announcements that are going to blow your mind. So the announcements, and Mr. Rock and his corporate team are working on that. You need to be there to hear those announcements. There'll also be some tremendous business training and breakout events. Now, if you really want to know how to build this business, whether it be passively, and when I say passively, I'm talking about using the system to create business for yourself, and or to build a network of people, which is really what we're looking to do, then you need to be there, because there's going to be some fabulous information. We'll also have some breakout events. And the beautiful thing, ladies and gentlemen, is that you get a chance to also spend some time with some of the leaders, and certainly the corporate staff. Spend some time with Mr. Rock, Mr. Lim, and these sorts of people. So that's Tuesday and Wednesday. The Wednesday night, there will be a gala dinner, which I understand is going to be a casual affair, but I have no doubt, when I say casual, I think you don't have to wear, bow tie or anything like that. Well, you may wish to, but I don't think I will be. It'll be too warm for that. But there'll be a gala dinner, and the Thursday is a free day where you can spend it with leaders, just enjoying some free time, chewing the fat with some of the people you're going to be meeting. Now, early bird registration. Now, the link for the registration, the reason there's been a slight delay is because they've just been getting the payment gateway sorted. My understanding is that it will be available possibly tomorrow, the 11th, but I've actually written there the 12th of July. The early bird registration is $299, and that's US. Now, up to the 21st. Now, after the 21st, it will jump to $359. Now, what does the registration include? Obviously, it includes registration to the all the event, lunch for both days and coffee breaks, and also the gala dinner on the Wednesday night. So that's all included as part of the registration. So that's $299 per person. Now, the link will come out. Your upline and your sponsors and people like that will get access to it, and in fact you'll probably receive a press release from the company. That'll be out in the next day or two, and you can go online and register, and I would really encourage you to do that. What I would like to do is a bit of a maybe an incentive, not so much an incentive, but just a call to action here in Australia and New Zealand, that we try and just get 100 people from our country to go there. We're looking to get 500 to 800 people at this event. It would be nice if we at least got 100 of them from our country. And so you can go on, register. Now, accommodation. Mr. Lim has done a brilliant job with this, because it's very, very competitive. Now, the accommodation at the Putra Bali Resort is limited. So as soon as it books out, you'll need to be going to a nearby resort. And I understand there's some nearby resorts that are in walking distance. So what does that include? The accommodation. It's actually $160 per room. So $80 a person. This is US dollars. Now, you might think that, in fact, I've got to say, when you look at the quality of the accommodation, and you can see the website that I've put there, go on and have a look. It's beautiful, magnificent. So, but that $160 includes a mandatory 21% tax that has to be paid, which seems a bit high, but nevertheless, 21% tax, and breakfast for each person. So for $160 per room, you can get 2 people, and you will get breakfast. I also understand that if you wanted a 3rd person in your room, you can actually apply for a fold-down bed or something like that for a further $60 or something like that. So don't quote me exactly on that, but that's my understanding. So they're really trying to make this work for us. We understand that people need to get airfares and all those sorts of things. So the company is trying to do it as best they can. Coming back to the registration, that really pays for the hire of the event. Again, talking 21% tax, that's all included in there. And when you see the quality of this venue, you will understand, you will see the value in the price. The good thing is, again, my clear understanding is that, for instance, say you arrived on the Monday, the 17th, and you went through to the 20th, which is 4 nights, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday nights. If you decide you wanted to go a bit earlier or stay a bit later, my understanding is that you will get the rate at the same rate, because this is a special rate. It's normally much dearer, but I think if you're part of this event, they will actually give it to you at that same rate. So it's a good deal. So I know it's about 2 months away, and a little bit over 2 months. So put your mind to it. You can actually build your business, earn the money to get there, but let's get as many Australians there as possible. My experience having been to a number of major events over the years with different companies, I can tell you what happens. It's where what you feel goes from the head to the heart, and people see the bigger picture. And it's not just what you see and hear, it's about who you meet. And you create some long-lasting friendships with other people in different parts of the world. We're going to have lots of people there's people from Africa, Philippines, Vietnam, and a whole host of our Asian countries that are Singapore, and all of the people that are coming there. And so you will create some great friendships that will develop, whether they're in your team or not, because we're all about being part of one team. So just further to that, ladies and gentlemen, some events that are coming up now tomorrow. And you know what, if there were flights that were just really cheap flights, I reckon everybody on this call that's outside of the Gold Coast would be flying up to listen to Ruby executive Patricia Devine. And with Mr. Mike Hodgson, I think he's on the call there. Mike, I think it's Mike and Patricia presenting tomorrow, or one or the other. They'll both be good, but it's at the Burleigh Head Surf Club, corner of Goodwin Terrace and Gold Coast Highway on the Gold Coast, 7:15 for 7:30. If you can't be there, or you live in another state or whatever, or another country, and you've got someone that lives there, invite them along. Just let Patricia or Mike know, and they'll make them feel very welcome. On Thursday, we've got the same sort of event occurring in Melbourne, and with Mike, Chip Chase and Diane Black, and it's their home. It's a nice, beautiful home, plenty of room, 5 Waterford Terrace, Peterborough, Victoria. You're welcome to go along, and if you need their contact details, you can message me, and I'm happy to pass it on. I don't put it up on the slide, but if you'd like to contact them beforehand. But certainly everybody's welcome, doesn't matter what team they're in. As I say, we're all part of one team. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we have talking about Mr. Mike Hodgson. Now, this gentleman is quite inspirational. He's actually taken the initiative to really take this business by the horn, so to speak, and he's conducting weekly webinars, which are brilliant. So on 8 p.m. on a Sunday and a Monday night, he runs a webinar through Zoom, and you can see his the Zoom link and the ID down there. Again, if this doesn't make sense and you need the links, you can contact myself or Patricia, or if you've got Mike's contact Mike, and have a look. But he's doing some brilliant presentations. On a Tuesday night, he normally does the training, but he's graciously up tonight so that we can do this monthly webinar update. So Mike done a fantastic job. I really encourage everyone to get on. He's got people now coming from different parts of the world logging on, and Mike is not only a leader now, but he is a major leader of the future. So congratulations, Mike, you're doing a great job. Okay, just some quickly as we wrap up, because it's important that I mention this again. I know some of it might think this is as boring as you know what, but you know what, it is. Compliance. That doesn't matter how many accounts you've got, each account needs to be verified. So essentially, as soon as it's created, talk to your sponsor. They need to be showing you how to do this. You go to, you need to get your account verified before you pretty well do anything. Once you've bought your pack or whatever, go to in your back office. And in fact, what happens, and I'm saying this if you're new to the call and you're listening to this and you don't have a 2FA set up, it's a two-factor authentication. Normally, you can do the Google two-factor authentication, and there are others. You'll first of all log in on your site. So go to my-wci.com, log in, put your password and username. Don't click 2FA because you haven't enabled that at that point, and you'll get an email that will come to the email that you've provided when you're registered, and it will ask you to log in or put in a one-time token, and there's like an orange screen that comes up on your screen. You put the token in, and it allows you to access your back office. Once you get into your back office, then you go to security, which is up on the top left-hand side, or my accounts, upload your ID and your front and back proof of address, so that you can, and then once you've loaded that, so it's front and back of the ID or whether it's a passport or license, and your a bill that demonstrates or shows your proof of address, and then It's very simple, and it's normally verified within 1 to 3 days, and that will allow you to move money in and around there and ultimately do cash outs. And then also while you're in there, you need to enable your 2FA. Again, that's under a thing called security in the same area where under settings you go to set this up, and then security for your ID. So just go in and do that. Talk to your sponsor, and get that done ASAP. And you need to do it for all your accounts. So if you have a problem, again, they are overworked. I've got to tell you, the support, they'll do as best they can, but sometimes they're a bit slow because there's only a few of them at the moment. And when I talk about Asia, support at WCX Asia is mostly the ones associated with the smaller matters. The bigger matters that are when you write a support ticket in your back office, that will go to America. And again, they are inundated at the moment. That's all changing. It's going to be there's going to be more support coming with the Blockration integration. So please bear with them, and they'll get back as quick as they can. So just make sure that you follow that through. And if you've got a problem, go to your sponsor, and we can actually contact them and see what the go is. But when you're emailing, make sure you put your username, and don't write a book, but try and make the information relevant. So, ladies and gentlemen, just before I finish up, I just wanted to quickly mention also about cash outs, because obviously people want to get their money out, which is natural and normal. And the cash outs is not a problem in that sense. There are delays though at the moment. Now the delays occur because of the IT technical integration that's going on with Blockration. I'm actually waiting to get an update on that. I know that some people, it's been a couple of weeks where it's like that. Please, if it goes beyond 7 to 10 days, email support and just ask what status is. I can promise you, absolutely, hand on heart, and I know you can see I'm putting my hand on my heart at the moment, there is no issues with this company financially. They are very, very sound, strong financially. We are in a very good financial position. However, when they're doing this integration, it's actually the blending of the Blockration digital payments system, linking it into our system, and then merging it, and then ultimately there's going to be a total new look with our website and everything else. There's going to be videos that's coming in, and everything's got to be all linked to compliance, because anything we do has got to be compliant in every country where we're operating. And as you can imagine, with the internet, it goes everywhere. So it's easier said than done. Now, I'm saying that, I know it can be frustrating when cash outs are delayed. Please, if there is a delay, don't go whinging. Speak to your upline if need be, but you can actually contact support and just ask what's going on, and they will do their best to come back. Certainly WCXasia.com, Mr. Simon Lim there and Christine on that, and they are very, very competent and very, very aware of wanting to ensure that everyone's looked after. So there's no issues at all with anything else. This company is in a very good footing. We've got great leadership. There are changes occurring all the time with it. It is a very, very dynamic company. And we are in a very exciting moment in time. And I really implore you to, for your own needs, if you like, and certainly for people that you know, to share this information, because we can change people's lives. So, ladies and gentlemen, I know I've probably gone on long enough. I just wanted to say thank you very much for your attendance. I do try and do something like this once a month. Mike and Patricia and Mike Chipchase are doing the great presentations. I'm not doing presentations at the moment because I'm just spending time doing these sorts of things and traveling now as well. But my focus is to really help people change their lives. That's what it's about. I see this as a vehicle to really change our lives, and that's my focus. And I know the people the leaders on this call, that's their focus as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you again. I do appreciate your time, and stay tuned for the link for the conference. Please give serious consideration to get there. Even if you're going on your own, think about someone you can share with, so you can share a room. Hopefully we'll see some cheap flights and things like that. Get yourself there, do what you can to get there, because it will change your life. I know you'll come away having been so pleased that you've gone. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, have a great evening. It's been my pleasure to speak with you. All the very best. Good evening.